Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Bob Harrell. I'm the founder of Management Controls, and our core product is Track software, which we're going to spend a few minutes sharing some of the details about how we bring value to our customers. Track has, over the years, gained traction with refining and chemical clients in North America. The map here is going to display for you some of the clients and the locations that have adopted our software, and what you're going to find is that they are centered around major refining and chemical activities in the United States. Here are some of the customers that we have, and I'd like to kind of direct your attention over to the bottom left-hand corner. About 80% of the United States, actually North American refining capacity, uses Track today, and some of our clients have taken our product outside of North America, Australia, the United Kingdom, South Africa, and a couple coming up in the Asia Pacific region. I hope that what we have on this slide makes sense and looks familiar to you. On the left-hand side, we're talking about preparing to do some work, the planning, scheduling, and then the execution of that work. And you've got major investment in software packages to build out work lists, work orders, WBS elements. And on the right-hand side, a number of other systems, some part of larger ERPs that are the back end where you're going to record the information of the work that's been accomplished and ultimately compensate the contractor for the work that they've completed successfully. There's a piece here that can be done differently. Today, the standard model is for the contractor to get the work order, execute the work, and record his activities on a timesheet, which ultimately, after you've reviewed it, become part of an invoice package, which is somehow going to be introduced to accounts payable, either through the U.S. mail, electronically, or in some fashion get lodged as a liability in your financial system and ultimately be paid. So following from the prior slide, left-hand side here is planning and scheduling, executing the work. So the work is in the field. The contractor has been released to execute the work. He's recording his activities on a timesheet. There's a better way to do that. And the way Track does it is to take information from the security access control system that contractors are obligated to use to get into the workplace. As a supplement to that information is this idea of what are the terms and conditions of the contract and the rates that are associated with various skills, straight time, premium time, what your policies are about show up and go home, and all the things that are baked into the contract. When you automate those activities, those standards, if you will, then you don't need paper timesheets and you don't need paper invoices, because the output of Track is contractually compliant hours and dollars that have been calculated in real time, and all the information that can be gleaned from real-time information about who did what, for how long, at what cost, and how the job progressed as a result of those efforts. So I hope in the earlier slides we've done a good job of emphasizing the point that one of the key ingredients in all that we're talking about is that document, that agreement contract that you've negotiated and executed with each of the vendor contractors that are working for you every day. Let me just tell you that the content of those contracts, which are in the hundreds, the actual number of agreements or contracts you have, they're each somewhat unique, and the content around how you pay straight time and whether you pay lunch, and if there's some ding for coming in late or leaving early, and how do you pay Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. Incredible number of decisions that have to be made to get the time calculated correctly and apply the correct rate. Our sense is that the uniqueness of contracts, the rules and rates in each contract across the entire contract population in the hundreds that you're trying to manage on a daily basis is beyond the capacity of any one person. Allow me to continue with this idea of the value proposition around the accurate calculation of hours multiplied times the right rate, which is the right money. The complexity of getting all that stuff right across all the work activities in your plant, both expense and capital work, routine maintenance and turnaround activities, large contractor population during turnarounds, shutdowns, outages. When you calculate that information accurately and in real time, it creates a flow of information to the desktop of guys and gals who make business decisions around the workforce, the work to be done, and how exceptions are handled at the moment in the optimal way. So let us try to express some of the thoughts that we've shared with you in the earlier slides. Let's try to do that graphically. The 45-degree line here expresses the idea that the hours worked or inside the plant should be about the same as the hours on the invoice. Clearly, this graph shows that that relationship is not as tight as it could be. This is a site before the introduction of track. Here's what the same site looks like a month or so after the introduction of track. Much tighter relationship between the hours worked or inside the plant and the hours on the invoice, which is what you would expect. And clearly there are opportunities to reduce contract labor costs when you have tighter correlation between the hours worked and the hours paid. So allow me to expand on this idea of graphical presentation of the information we'd like to share with you today. Here's a plot of a 10-hour shift, and you'll see that on the bottom we're talking about the shift start time and the shift end time, and then a plot of the actual badge in, badge out times for the workforce, contracted workforce. Red is pre-track, blue is post-track, and I want to kind of focus on the what we have circled here. The point of this is that about 16% of this workforce showed up late, late being after shift start time. What happens when they're late? Everything gets discombobulated. Supervisors are running to the gate to get people. Work is delayed because the skills are not available. It is a much better state of affairs to have everybody on time at the beginning of the shift. So over on the right, you're going to see what's actually a one-week invoice from a major contractor at one site for about 150 people. It's 400 pages of information, which is made up of all the stuff you've seen 1,000 times. Timesheets, information about equipment used, and so on. The moral here is there's so many moving pieces in getting this stuff right that it's almost impossible to do, and you probably have recognized that, and you've had multiple initiatives around productivity, enhanced work rules, all the attempts that you've made to rationalize contract service costs. So let us leave you with one thought. That's about adoption of change. Track will clearly be a modification to the current processes you have. It will be a different way of business for the contractor, and it'll be a different way of business for you. For it to work for both of you, it's got to be a win-win. And it is. Time and time again, contractors have said, gee, our life's better when we've got track because we're not in disputes with the owner about time and costs. We get paid on time because the calculations are made accurately in real time. And on the owner side, you'll be able to manage that activity with better visibility and, frankly, more control of the cost. It creates a win for both of you.